Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Welcome to Comics League Live. We are talking about the Wonder Woman movie. Oh my gosh, we are here. What's up, boys?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
So, once again, we are talking about the 2017 Wonder Woman movie. In other words, the good one. And by Master Sergeant Goes, ready to go. Wonder Woman is one of the 6 SnyderVerse films. Hell yeah, it is. Snyder's a co-writer and producer. Wonder Woman was clearly a collaborative project in line with the Justice League storyline. Yes, exactly. Clearly. And PK says, somehow I will be able to stay awake for the stream. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Away or awake? Because he says away.
So before we start, I just want to say so one thing of kind of rewatching these films has kind of helped crystallize why the Snyder Cut films versus the MCU. The Snyder Cut films, I actually feel something. I feel emotions while watching the movie.
What's up, Lawrence Snyder Gunn? Yeah, what's up? What's up, Jared Heath? Oh, and by the way, before we get started, actually, Nick had something he wanted to tease. So, Nick, take it away.
So, as most of you are aware, I've been hard at work on the A2 Avenger herself, Screecher, and I think it's time to kind of juice this thing into high gear. And since Jared has been such a good host for me, and he's been such a good guy, next week, there will be two things that'll happen. One, I'll be premiering the full-length trailer for Screecher on this show this time next week, and when that trailer is over, you can go straight to the sign-up page and sign up to be notified when we're launching. Now, it'll be done the first week in October. I haven't settled on a date yet. It'll either be the 7th or the 8th, but it'll be one of those 2 days. And I guess I just premiered the launch date as well, so you got another exclusive, Jared.
Awesome. All right, and I may have gotten a preview of the book. It is great. If you're a Batman fan or a Nightwing and Teen Titans fan, this is the book for you. And so, yeah. Jared, I'm going to say this once. No, that movie's indefensible. Even I can't do that, okay? And I've defended some pretty bad movies.
Like Suicide Squad, the non-Ayer cut, you can kind of defend, but that's like hitting the line. That's like you're going right up against the line there.
Yeah, it's like, let me put it this way, going on to that. Yeah, that was not as egregious as Wonder Woman 1984 and Master Sergeant is, not the group to defend 84. No,
I'm sorry, but like a movie where a random guy gets possessed by the body of Steve Trevor, doesn't even change into Steve Trevor, and Wonder Woman just sees her as Steve Trevor and has sex with this body against his consent. Like, if you really think about it, it's kind of effed up. Like, it's not
it is.
It's just really effed up.
It really is. It really, really is.
It's crazy.
How the hell did it get past the people that were supposed to approve these scripts?
Not even Zack. Like, you say what you will about Zack Snyder. Even he, like, you could say Sucker Punch was his most egregious. Even Sucker Punch didn't go that far.
Lawrence, I can defend Wonder Woman 1984. There were some good parts. I mean, the golden armor part was pretty cool.
I mean,
I don't remember 1984. There was a cheetah.
Okay. The thing I'll say about Cheetah is I was liking her storyline until the very end. Mm-hmm. Until she went full PS2 character model.
Yeah.
I actually thought her storyline was kind of interesting. You know, like she was envious of Diana, you know, the perils of getting, you know, like monkey paw. I thought, like, okay. That was kind of interesting. But then she went full PS2
It wasn't even PS2. Did you guys ever see the trailer for the live action Cats movie? That's what that looked like.
Yeah, I've seen that cat movie.
Okay, I'm gonna say this: the Cats movie looked better.
It did look better, but I'm saying it was getting me major Cats vibes. I'm like, I thought she was gonna start saying the naming of cats is a differort matter, but I'm like, no.
I demand the butthole cut of Wonder Woman 1984. Hashtag WW84 butthole cut.
Yeah, exactly. Release the butthole cut.
So let's dive into.
Joe Corolla, I saw Cats opening weekend, you poor soul. And
Rest in
Master
peace,
Sergeant
insanity.
says, it's like Birds of Prey for me. It exists. But what's the point? Exactly. Oh, did they turn Maxwell Lord into Donald Trump, or was that only in the marketing?
Yeah, no, they did. They did.
They did. Which, no matter how you feel about Donald... I'm sorry, go ahead.
The guy who plays him is such a, like, Pablo, whatever. He is such a great actor. You wasted him in this movie.
He could have done if they had done a comic accurate Maxwell Lord, I have no doubt that Maxwell Lord could have done fantastically. He could have done it.
I mean, just have him play exactly like he did with the Game of Thrones character. Like that basically was Maxwell Lord right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're like, all right. So on that note, now we're going to talk about the good Wonder Woman movie.
Okay, so
let's dive
we got
in.
our Wonder Woman 84 discussion out of the way. It sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah, that's going to be our stream talking about 1984. It's 5 minutes. It sucks. Don't watch it.
You know what you should do? You should clip that and just release it on your YouTube as 1984 discussion.
1984 review. It sucks. Don't watch it. You know what? I just might do that as an April Fool's joke next year. I'll put, I review 1984, Justice League, and all those movies. They suck. Don't watch them.
Oh, no. If you're going to do it, it's like, I'm going to review Justice League. And it's just a movie of, like, just pure flatulence. And the last second says, don't watch this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, before I continue, you know how I always get that security camera footage, right? Well, I have security camera footage of Zack Snyder after David Zaslav gives him the call. Kind of wanted to debut that new clip.
Well, speaking of going back in the past, let's go all the way back to 1918.
Yes, exactly. So the movie takes place in World War I, which I felt was actually a pretty dope choice because that was like the first war that really, which you got into like chemical weapons, ranged combat, and it was like one of those things where like war got really, really, really bad.
Yeah, I feel like setting it in World War II would have kind of muddied the everyone sucks message. You know, that we all deserve redemption because you can't really show Nazis as being redeemable.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. You know, it's like you had the, obviously the enemies were the Germans, but those weren't Nazis back then. They're just Germans.
Yeah.
You know, and so they were actually they had a little more narrative wiggle room. Be like, hey, these are people too. They may be on the opposing side. Yeah, basically, I like the movie. I still feel like I really wish the movie would have they wouldn't have done like the third act versus Ares because I feel like that kind of undercut the whole message of like war is messy. Like having the fact that Ares was whispering into the ears of these people, like sure he didn't force them, but he was whispering into their ear. He was influencing them, even if indirectly. I really I was like that Steve Trevor speech is really freaking good. Like, oh my god, is that Steve Trevor speech good?
By the way,
but it just gets cut. It just gets undercut.
I think that was originally supposed to be the original ending. It was supposed to just there wasn't supposed to be an Ares fight. There was just supposed to be her realizing that mankind just sucks,
or like mankind is complicated. I think that's what they were trying to go for, and I feel like they largely succeeded.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't need the Ares fight, but they went with it because the trope in superhero movies you have to have a big CGI fight at this point.
I mean, to be fair, the fight itself wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it was generic. So anyway, Teladia, your thoughts?
I first thought the opening was great.
Oh, yes.
It was great to see Diana, opening shot, Bruce Wayne
sending her the original picture?
Sending her the original picture, yes. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great to see that the connection between BVS and Wonder Woman instantly is there. And it's great that it goes back in time and you get to see the little Diana, growing up. She's very much inspired by the Amazons, the stories she heard from her mother to...
Which she's talking about the God Killer. The mother's pretty much telling the story of her.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And by the way, speaking of that storybook part, from from a visual perspective, that was so cool. How you have like the moving like paintings, pretty much.
Yeah, especially the fact that like it's pretty much in the like this isn't like a cutscene. It's more like that's the storybook. You know, I love that.
And by the way, Jared Heath, the answer is Justice League, because Wonder Woman 1984 was at least Patty Jenkins's whole project. They didn't take it away from her and then crapify it.
And at least Patty Jenkins isn't a sex pest.
Yeah, that's true. At least she's not. He who must not be named. So anyway, going back to it, I also loved. You could definitely tell this was like a Zack Snyder 300 like inspired movie, because when you first see the Amazons, they're flipping off stuff. They're like sword fighting, and I get major 300 Spartan vibes
to it
from that whole like the way they do the Amazons, which is why I've always said we need a Zack Snyder Amazons movie.
You know what? Speaking of that kind of section of the movie, when the Germans arrive on the beach and they have that battle. I feel like that's a really good reality check for the Amazons. It's like, sure, they kind of won, but if it was actually a full-on battle between like the Germans and the Amazons,
the Germans would
win.
Machine guns.
Like yeah, and it's like you could tell if that movie was made now, the Amazons would have just stopped the Germans. But the fact that like they actually kind of lost, I actually felt was a really good thing.
But there were also some great fight scenes where like Antiope goes shield, and then she jumps on the shield and then shoots the arrows at those Germans in cover. I'm like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually like how like going on in like the village scene. See, Trevor actually he saw them do that, and he was actually helping Diana, and like I actually thought that was a really good moment, a really good callback.
Yeah. So. Continuing on, I liked how so eventually Wonder Woman wants to be a warrior. She's going through she's being trained by Antiope. At first, her mother's hesitant about it because she wants her daughter to be safe. Plus the fact she knows who her daughter is. I just
want to note that the warrior trainer is being played by Robin Wright, aka Princess Buttercup from The Princess Bride. So she went from princess to warrior princess, and I cannot be happier.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and by the way, Wonder Woman's mother is being played by Kanye Nielsen, who is the female Caesar twin in Gladiator.
Oh, that was her?
That was her.
Holy shnikey.
I know, right? It was a total mind blowing. I'm like, well, she didn't go far.
Are you not entertained?
Wait. In honor of that, I have to throw this out.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Okay, so anyway,
which, by the way, Russell Crowe is Zod. So
yeah, no, he's Jor-El. Dude, get this right.
He doesn't get it right. Get him off this podcast. Get him off. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. You keep messing. By the way, I just want to just say when we're done with the SnyderVerse movies, we're gonna have a SnyderVerse trivia night, and I expect you all to score well.
I mean, you're probably gonna cream us all, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I may be the master of ceremonies and not participating. I still have to see. Or what I plan on doing is finding a random Jeopardy game that I don't make up. So let's talk about. And by the way, they're talking. Why did you say that? Should I drop the thing?
No.
All right, it's too many clips at this point. So the reason Wonder Woman 1984 happened was that WB offered no guidance for the DCEU after Whedon. Snyder was producer, but busy with Justice League at the time.
Wait, you said the name. Now you can play the clip.
Why did you say that name?
Okay, so
now, there's no mention of that name in the stream. Otherwise we'll be keeping playing clips all day long.
Yeah, please.
I can't utter the name Zack Snyder.
No, you can enter that. You can say that name all you want. That's the name that's he who shall be named.
But you cannot mention the other name. So anyway, let's get back to this.
Going back. Yeah,
so bringing back forward anyway, and I think what really interests me as well about this movie was the whole slow motion for the Amazons, especially some of the scenes, some of the shots that we got was
That's
pretty
a
cool.
very Snyder. That's a very Snyder type.
Snyder's thing, yeah.
And Master Sergeant, you're breaking my heart here.
Why did you say that name?
Okay, at this
Master
point,
Sergeant,
I may have to say from now on I'm not gonna, because otherwise the entire stream is just gonna be repeatedly on a loop. Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
yeah, literally, it's gonna get on people's nerves.
And yes, that's pretty much what Birds of Prey was. Yeah, exactly. So, Master Sergeant, you're really getting to me now.
Don't even start there, Master Sergeant. Otherwise, we won't.
Don't
play
start
it.
All right, I'm not doing it. So anyway,
All right, ban hammer.
No, I'm not ban hammering. We say ban hammering for people that say that Justice League was better than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yes,
That's
bad
the ban hammering.
Anyway, so back to the thing. The slow motion thing was great, especially with some of the scenes within that movie. Very Zack Snyderish to the core of it. You literally see it. And I think the fight scenes choreography was great.
Oh yes, because you can definitely tell that Zack Snyder had some hand in this, because it felt very much like 300.
His fingerprints are all over it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm watching this movie, and it's like, let me put it this way: it's believable that the Amazons would have will be able to deal some damage against the Germans. So that's why and they actually did very, very well for the technological disparity.
Yeah, you know. I also like Amazon. Also, the types of warfare that they're both engaging in. Well, Germans are hold the line, wall the bullets. You know, like we operate as a single unit, whereas Amazons are a bunch of individual units working well, albeit very well together, but they're still individual units operating in tandem.
And by the way, our good friend Nerdman has the right idea. Smash that like button. And would you guys like Snyder to be running DC again?
Yes.
No, here's the thing. Snyder isn't going to be running for DC again. Remember what we discussed about earlier, Jared?
Yeah.
Dan Lin take it front runner for DC head.
Yeah. He's not going to be running DC again. He's just going to probably be able to complete his movies and then move on.
Yeah.
And by the way, so Snyder was co-writer and co-producer. With the tone and slow-mo, it's clearly Snyder. Yeah, exactly. Anyone that says that Snyder had no influence in this movie obviously has never watched the movie. So anyway, going back to discussing the actual plot. I liked how she discovered her powers, like the smashing the gauntlets together was completely by accident.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, she doesn't know her own strength. And then we meet Steve Trevor, who is way more tolerable in the movies than he is in the comics. Trust me, in the comics, he's a really creepy stalker of Wonder Woman.
Like, I what I do like about Chris, a lot of the female tropes, you know, like the damsel in distress and stuff, they kind of play it with him, but they don't do it obviously. So it's it's more of a tee-hee, you know, kind of thing. It's more playfully playing with them than it is more oh, stupid man, look, he's being objectified now. No, it's more oh, it's hey, we're playing it with you, it's fun kind of thing.
Yeah, it's Jared has the right idea. Trevor's the biggest simp in comics. That's true.
To be fair, I don't think it Gal Gadot or just Wonder Woman in general. It's kind of hard not to simp for her.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that one. So, and on that note, so I also liked when he's healing in the pool and he comes out and she goes, "What's that?" And he goes, and he goes, "Oh, you mean my watch?" Hey, Tevya.
Also, I'd it's above average.
Yeah, I know.
You can tell there's okay, how do we write this scene without actually saying the stuff that will get us will get us an R rating?
Yes.
They're just tippy-toeing around that R rating. I love it.
I'm like most. I don't have any comic book knowledge of Wonder Woman. The movie stands for itself. Yeah, and I read Wonder Woman where I can, and I'm going off of the new 52 depiction of Trevor, who was really creepy. And my day is going great, Tevia. How's your day going? So, moving on, I also liked how she agrees to take him to Man's World so she can fight Ares. She steals the armor, and again, she's like climbing up the building, and then they're in the boat leaving, and I love how she goes, I've read all 12 of this dude's treatises of pleasure, and then Steve Trevor goes, do you have them with you?
Can I just
My other
say,
favorite.
That entire boat scene is just adorable. Because like Steve's just trying to be a gentleman, and she's like, sleep next to me. I don't like. I love like they're doing those innuendos. Like, you want to sleep with me? You know, it's like. It's just they know exactly what they're doing with that with that script, and God bless them.
And that's actually a very good interpretation, PK, about that. I took it really as she didn't like she armored up, but she did show so like in the shadows, because Wonder Woman is fast, so she could save someone without like actually like being seen and stuff. Now. Another favorite part is like when she goes, I had no father. I was forged from clay and brought to life by Zeus. And Steve goes, well, that's neat.
Well, the thing is, you got to realize at this point, Steve Trevor was on Themyscira for a while, and he saw like the extra-human stuff. So her being the daughter of Zeus, to him, that's like, okay, well, that makes sense.
And what's hilarious, this movie's even more inspired by the new 52, because it turns out she wasn't clay brought to life. She was the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah,
she is the God Killer.
She is the God. I know that's amazing. I love that. So
and can I say it actually makes a lot more sense, because like, you know, later on in the movie you see her like charging through ranks of soldier, taking bullets. I feel like her being like a demigod god actually makes a lot more sense, because like he's kind of like a like one or two rungs of power above the average Amazon. Like the average Amazon is probably a step above normal human. Like they're probably like, you got like Amazon humans, Amazon and Atlanteans are probably kind of neck and neck in terms of like abilities, and then you got Diana, which is like one or two rungs even above that. So like that's why I feel like the Amazons getting slaughtered by the Germans in the beginning, and Diana slaughtering the Germans later, it makes a lot more sense.
It does. So moving on, and then we get her arriving in England, and he goes, welcome to jolly old England. It's hideous. Well, it's not for everyone.
Can I just say, like, yeah, their back and forth is so great. Like,
it's so they have actually really good chemistry. Oh, would you say that Wonder Woman and Injustice is remotely redeemable? Maybe. Depends on how they do. They would have to do the storyline really carefully, but yes, I think that it could be. She could be redeemable.
Can I also just say, for like, there's certain like London scenes where they do very typical woman things, like, oh, woman reacts to baby. Oh, woman has ice cream for the first time. It's like they're not afraid.
That ice cream scene.
Oh, or like the
straight from the comics.
Scene. Yeah, but like the babies, like because they're not afraid to invoke those womanly tropes for comedy. And also, I love the scene that references Superman 78. I love that.
Yeah, the outfit number 78. Yeah, I was like, all right.
Homage, you know, the alleyway scene where she catches the bullets. That's a nod to, you know, that scene.
That's a homage to 78. Yeah,
I love that. I'm like, okay, that's good. See, that's what they should be. If they want to make an homage to to Christopher Reeve's Superman, they can do it that way. Not like make a movie that's entirely unlike Wonder Woman. Just that's the last time I'm gonna mention that film. So anyway, I also really loved how like Wonder Woman. So they're buying her some clothes, and then Wonder Woman almost drops the coat right there, and everyone's like, nope, dress up.
Also, I love they do like a Clark Kent thing where it's like, oh, suddenly she isn't the most beautiful woman ever. Like they also kind of like invoke the whole Clark Kent thing. I do love that they kind of play with that a little bit. Like, those are kind of cheeky little things.
Exactly. And moving on, I also loved, so we get the scene where she meets Steve Trevor's team, and
wait, before we gotta go to the part, we gotta give her some respect to Etta Candy. I love that character so much. Like, oh my god, I wish she had more screen time. She's just so great. Like
she's so funny.
She's great. Like she's funny. She's adorable. She's endearing, and it's like she's capable. She's actually helping the plot. It's like, sorry, I just wanted to give some respect to Eddie Candy.
Right. Mwamba says, hey, fellas, this is what Warner Brothers Discovery needs to do to finish up the Darkseid saga and then reboot, reset. Yeah, they complete the SnyderVerse, and then they could do a reboot, as was the original plan. Just want to bring that up there. And Jared Heath says, speaking of injustice, why do the developers make Batman our moral pillar when he's the biggest hypocrite? Yeah, exactly. Batman is one of the issues why Superman goes down that dark path, because after he kills the Joker, Batman just abandons him. Like, what? So anyway, going back to Wonder Woman, she meets the team, and I love where so they're all like the most unlikely like special operations guys ever. One's a drunk sniper, the other dude's like a thief who embellishes his storyline. I love where he's in the middle of telling a story about, well, I was with a prince, and then Steve Trevor walks up. Which prince is it this time?
Also, I will say this. I know this movie got some criticism for like comparisons to First Avenger, and this is kind of like the part of the movie where, okay, yeah, they were kind of riffing off of Captain America: First Avenger a little bit with this kind of thing.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, within this movie though, within Wonder Woman, there was a lot more.
That's what I'm saying. They rip. That's why I use riffing instead of ripping off. You know, it's very clearly inspired by. They definitely took that idea and kind of made it their own. But to say they didn't, I feel would be disingenuous. But in the same token, to say they straight up ripped it off would also be disingenuous. So I'm kind of going down the middle here.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on. So they move out. They go, okay, so we're going to go find Ares. Then we get that fantastic ice cream scene, which is literally straight from the first arc of New 52. And hey, Sean Franklin, I know I say this every time you're on the stream, but I love your profile picture. Mwamba says, have you guys read The Injustice? Yes, I have. It's pretty much this movie, only Steve Trevor's evil the whole time.
Also, kind of to step back a little bit, I love like that scene where in order to convince Diana, he takes a rope and like ties it around her, and it's like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, we're all gonna die.
Like, and I just love like Steve Trevor he's like capable, like he knows kind of Diana stuff, and it's like they complement each other so well.
That's the difference. What I always tell people when I compare this to Captain Marvel, here's why this is the superior movie, because Captain Marvel made Nick Fury an idiot, where when you look at Wonder Woman, she needed Steve Trevor to account. She would never have found Ares if she didn't have Steve Trevor. Oh,
speaking of Ares, so watching the scene, knowing the Ares twisted mind, actually is pretty interesting, because like when she first enters that stage, you could actually see the guy. He kind of does a double take, and he you know, like he actually,
he's like oh no.
Like, you actually see his kind of shot his face go down and like trips over his word for a moment, because he knows exactly who that is. You know, he knows exactly who that woman is. As soon as she walks in that door. And it is so interesting watching this movie, knowing that twisted mind, because like, and I'm glad they put in those details in it. That makes it really great.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I love how this entire movie makes you think that the German general is Ares, to the point where he starts having gas that apparently gives him super strength. And she even goes, to restore your strength. And then guess what? It's not him.
Yeah, also, I'm pretty sure that's the forerunner to Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be. Actually, that's a good idea, Nick. I never thought of that.
Because like it makes sense. It makes sense from a storytelling perspective. You know, I mean, it acts a lot like Venom. You know, so like I having it be kind of like a very prototype version of Venom, honestly, would make sense a lot from a storytelling perspective.
So I was gonna bring this up, right? Because we're at the middle of the movie, right? I like the idea that how Wonder Woman goes off to the battle. She goes to that little place, right? That area where where they took a shot of her and the team and everything. before it got
the village.
Oh, the picture.
yeah,
You mean Veld?
yeah, the village, yeah.
Veld. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool to see that in the background. If you did not notice, the Zack Snyder was on set on that.
Yeah, he's in the picture. Okay,
Well-
speaking of that scene, okay, because that's probably my favorite scene in the entire movie, that entire battle sequence. She shows up, and she's like, "Okay, people are dying. We have to go save that town." And Steve Trevor's like, "It's not possible. No man can cross this. This isn't what we came here to do." And then Wonder Woman goes, "No, but it's what I'm going to do." And then the way they reveal it, she goes up the ladder, the coat falls off her back, and you see the shield.
And can I just say,
Magic
it would have been so well. You can kind of see her kind of doing some stuff with like her clothes before that, so it's kind of very much implied she was like taking off like the shirts under it. So I think that's pretty fair.
There's
No,
actually 10 likes.
But can I just say, it would have been so easy in that scene when like no man can cross it. You know, you go full Lord of the Rings and be like, but I am not a man. You know, like that would have gone into cringe territory. But the fact that she kind of gave him a look where the line's implied, that line is implied. It's kind of it's said but not said, and I think it's all the better for it. The fact that he didn't say that line.
It's not too preachy or anything like that. That they just left it open like that. So,
but it's very clear what the intention was. The fact that she wasn't a man is what got her to cross it, and I like that it was kind of more. It was they put it in the realm of subtext instead of overtly saying it, and I think that's what made it a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. And then so she gets up. I'm going to use this clip I was saving for when when Snyder Queen hops in the chat, but I'll just throw it up right now. Yeah, and then they start shooting at her, and she's like blocking the bullets. And then I love Charlie. He's like, "The hell is going on?"
Yeah.
Then she just charges at that machine gun nest, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?"
And then she kind of takes care of it, and then she tries like she's taking all the bullets, you know, like she's basically being the tank of an MMO fight and whatnot.
Yeah, she's the tank.
And then and kind of skipping ahead kind of a few moments, I love that they saved for the moment where she was in the village to then kick in the Wonder Woman theme. I feel like narratively, that's when she was fully Wonder Woman, was in that moment. I think that because that's why they say the music for right then and there.
Yeah,
when she fully became Wonder Woman, that scene was a moment where she fully became the Wonderful Woman.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how she goes, "Wait here, I'll go on ahead," and the guys look at each other like, "What?" And then she like destroys the Germans, like utterly she pretty much not impresses them, to use the Snyder cut term that we will use next week.
She wrecks them. Simple.
Right, Jared Heath. I remember when this movie came out and the MC was freaking out that they got blown out of the water. Yo, yeah, this is the reason why we got a Black Widow movie late. And 5 years later, we got a Black Widow, and arguably the worst one. No, the worst one is Captain Marvel, but the Black Widow's down there.
Black Widow is a mid movie. Like it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's okay at best. Let's be honest. If the exact movie had come out in Phase 3, it would have been amazing. But the fact that like Black Widow was already dead, it's hard to really care about her. But if this movie had come out in Phase 3 before Infinity War, where it's set, where the movie is set,
Taskmaster.
Well, yeah, that too. But I think you can't defend Captain Marvel, but like I do feel the need to defend Black Widow a little bit because like it had some good ideas, like the whole sex trafficking thing and you know taking their innocence. There were some good ideas in the movie. Yeah, Taskmaster was not one of them, mind you. But like, if you just would have cast someone else for Taskmaster, the movie probably would have been a good 6 or 7 out of 10 movie.
Oh, by the way, Jared Heath asks, which is worse, Thor: The Dark World, Captain Marvel, The Incredible Hulk? Captain Marvel.
Incredible Hulk is actually okay.
I love the Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, Incredible Hulk is actually a good movie. She-Hulk has the distinction of actually being worse than Captain Marvel. Somehow it manages that feat.
I disagree. I don't think it's worse than Captain Marvel. I think it's not the best, but it's not worse than Captain Marvel. So moving on and Nick, this is for you.
So moving on swiftly.
Yes.
Let's go towards the ending of the scene. Towards the ending of the film.
Shield. She goes right to the church tower. But anyway,
we've got kind of a big chunk of the movie to go before then.
No. This is
like you're skipping over the castle scene and talking about.
This is towards the end. This is like the castle.
Yes, towards
scene.
the end of the movie. He means going to the castle scene because that's really at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go to. So go on, you go first.
And by the way, the castle dress was legit the dress that Linda Carter wore in like the original Wonder Woman.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it's being held up by her sword.
I really love Dr. Poison's design. Like I love kind of all her outfits in the movie. I think it's a really cool design because like you got to realize people wore those masks back in that day. That would like around that time period. That's what people wore instead of like plastic surgery or anything. They just wore those kind of masks. Like that was a very common thing for people back then, and I thought that was a really nice touch. General Ludendorff, I thought was a really good stand-in villain. I mean, the actor who plays him always does good performances.
As a villain, yes, definitely. He played William Stryker.
In X-Men Origins, that was one of the only good parts of that movie.
I prefer Brian Cox as Stryker, but that's beside the point.
PK says, I managed to talk my dad, stepmom, and my sister to watch Wonder Woman back when it came out, and if Warner Brothers had not dropped the ball, they would have become DCEU fans. The way it worked with me is that I showed my mom and my sister the movie, and they pretty much watched any DC movie I make them watch. So there you go.
I mean, my mom is addicted to. I mean, she's a DC fan now, literally.
Yes, because she has good taste.
She's got good taste in the DCEU, and she got good taste in TV shows as well, mind you. She's got good taste in Superman and Lois. So,
that's an excellent show. So going back to Wonder Woman now.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really, really, really dig about this movie is like, so the town gets gassed, and you see Wonder Woman just rush in. You can see she's like emotionally traumatized from the town because she was just there, hanging out, making out with Steve Trevor and all that. And then
doing a little bit more than making out, but yeah.
By implication, doing more than making out. Just so, but still,
what can I just say? I love that like a lot of this movie implies more than it actually shows, and I think it's better for it. Like a lot of the dirtier aspects of the movie they put into the subtext, and it's like I feel like this is a great example of how to put in that stuff without explicitly saying it. So many writers just put it into overt text.
James Gunn.
Yeah, pretty much. But like. Honestly, there's a lot of filthy stuff that gets talked about Wonder Woman, but it's kind of just crap that goes over under the radar. And I feel like it's really creative in how they do it, and I really respect them for it.
Yeah, me too. I really, I definitely like that because I find it distracting when like all of a sudden it's like graphic sex, graphic like sexual jokes. James Gunn, Joss Whedon. Okay.
And I will say,
why did you say that, Nick?
Sorry, Nick. I had to.
I wasn't the one who said it. You did. But like I will say, like Steve and Diana having sex actually feels kind of earned because like they spent this whole time interacting. Like there's obviously some chemistry between them. They're really adorable together, and like they've grown to respect each other. And obviously Wonder Woman has it's like I like him, he likes me. Why not? Kind of thing. It's like there is this emotional connection between them, and it feels earned. It feels very much earned.
Jarrett has a really good question. Where would you say the Snyder movies end and the idiocracy of Birds of Prey begins? I would say Aquaman is the last movie that can be counted in a Snyder movie, in a SnyderVerse.
Yeah.
No, I would say after.
Are we doing Aquaman?
Should we do Aquaman?
Nah, that's not done by Zack Snyder. Anything that's
like Wonder Woman, you can make the case because obviously. Because the thing is, if we're gonna do Aquaman, then we might as well do Snyder's Suicide Squad because they're both in the universe. But I think your qualifier of Zack Snyder had to have a hand in the movie. Wonder Woman it applies for because obviously he had a hand in Wonder Woman. but he didn't have a hand in Aquaman. And if we do Aquaman, then we have to do Suicide Squad. Because
We have to do Shazam. Then eventually we're gonna have to do every DC movie.
Yeah, so it's not worth it.
Yeah,
So,
as much as I'd love to do Aquaman, which I actually do like that movie.
Me too.
I'm just trying to be fair here with our reasoning.
Maybe we'll do another stream to talk about Aquaman on another day.
Maybe.
So anyway, let's go ahead, Teladia.
So back to where we were, which was like the castle, the dress, and all of that.
Mhm.
So I thought it was pretty cool to see Diana rushing in, trying to go after who she thought at the time was Ares, was Lindelof,
Mhm.
and I was just like, whoa. Now she's going in there full force.
Mm-hmm.
She luckily Street Trevor stops her and
remember, at this point in the movie, she thinks the sword is the god killer. She
Yeah.
thinks that sword itself is a god killer. So that's very important to note, because that's why she has the sword like that, because she thinks the sword itself is what'll kill Ares.
Yeah, it's like, oh boy.
yes.
And Jared Heath says, what's the difference between DCEU, Justice League Throne of Atlantis, and Aquaman 2018, other than animation? There's really not.
SnyderVerse, one's not.
Well, yeah, but besides that, there's really not that. Well, besides the fact that the Justice League does show up in the DCEU one. But besides that, the overall story beat of Aquaman becoming King of Atlantis, yeah, that's there. And you shouldn't even really be doing this one. It's Patty directed. All he has is story credit, which means little to nothing.
He is a producer on the movie, and if you watch the movie, it's very much like there's types of shots, like we were talking about the slow-mo earlier, are very much a Zack Snyder thing. Like this film has Zack
It has Zack's DNA hot takes.
He had an influence on this movie, a very direct influence on this movie. Sure, he didn't direct it, but he had a big influence on it. It's like if you're doing a Christopher Nolan retrospective and you did Man of Steel, because Christopher Nolan had a big impact on Man of Steel. It's the same logic.
Yeah, I guarantee you that Patty consulted with Zack Snyder. Oh, and by the way, Snyder starred in Wonder Woman. He was a background character, so that counts.
Yes. That counts, yes.
Yes,
Tevia says
Zack Snyder was certainly involved with this movie.
So technically, Zack Snyder is a superhero. So I know some people.
I mean, we all do that.
Yeah, I know some people don't like Wonder Woman v. Ares, but personally, I thought that fight was really awesome.
The fight itself, I thought, was okay. I mean, the whole "I choose love," I think was nice. It was a nice, like, kind of thematic crescendo. Like, the full unlocking her powers was when she chose humanity and all its faults. I thought, like, the whole sea turtle dying, she gets power from that. That's fine. But my biggest problem is thematically, the story ends with the death of Ludendorff, and then Steve gives that speech. And that thematically is the climax of the movie. And it's the emotional climax of the movie. And then Ares appearing basically renders that whole speech, which is an amazing speech, like a 10 out of 10 speech. Like, it's one of the greatest movie speeches of all time. I love it that much. It's really right up there. It's right up there with, like, the best ever.
And by the way...
Sorry.
That's okay. And Master Sergeant makes a good point. Here's why I consider this one the SnyderVerse. It's actually referenced in Zack Snyder's Justice League too.
And not only that,
Not only
that, Zack Snyder and Charles Roven are also producers on Wonder Woman film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm saying beyond that, beyond the fact that he has the credit, it's in the universe.
Yes, it's connected.
Yeah. And then Tevye says, personally, I love Super Sons. Yes, but Wonder Woman 2017, I thought this movie was awesome. That's true. We all know you love Super Sons, Tevye. You made that pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And
there's the obligatory Super Sons reference.
Okay. That's our weekly mention of the Super Sons. Warner Brothers. Yeah. The difference is clearly in seriousness and tone and dramatic tension. Wonder Woman 1984 did not have it. Try as it might, it didn't.
Honestly, but
Shazam was not a reference in the other SnyderVerse movies. It's not referenced in like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Shazam is in the universe. I feel
Shazam's in the universe, Shazam's in the universe, but it takes place after Zack Snyder's Justice League, not before.
And
That's what
Zack
you
Snyder
gotta.
had nothing to do with Shazam. He had nothing
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
with it. Aquaman is very clearly in the universe because Mira mentioned Steppenwolf, and Mira is in Justice League. It's
Although she has a British accent.
So
Yeah.
and actually in the Zack Snyder cut, so was William Dafoe with like the long hair and whatnot. So
And yes, Jared Heath, we were supposed to get a Cyborg movie, which I want.
You might.
I
get
got a
that.
hot.
Mhm.
You want a hot take for you? I got one for you. Wonder Woman 1984 is so slapstick and over the top. It makes Batman and Robin look like Shakespeare.
Okay. I'll take that. And by the way, Master says, what? 1984 might as well be a Marvel production. Shots fired.
The worst part is I can actually see that, like, just based on like no. Wonder Woman 1984 is a directed Disney Plus movie.
Yeah, exactly. And so Wamba wants to ask, what did you guys think of Ares in Wonder Woman? I liked him because I liked how instead of like him going, I am the god of war, it's more like he's operating like from the shadows, subtly influencing people. Because that's what I think realistically what the god of war would do. He wouldn't necessarily show up in like a big ass suit of armor and say, go fight.
He's a mastermind of plan.
Ares himself, the character and what he does, without the whole mixing of the themes, if you remove all of that, yes, he's cool and I like what he does. My problem is the mixing of themes. It's like people are bad, but people can also be good. Oh wait, Ares was influencing them anyway. It just takes away from both Ares and the theme of the like. I just can't get over it. I'm sorry, but like if you're like Ares in isolation, his character, pretty cool.
Fine.
Pretty cool.
And by the way, and hot takes, it's not just the slow-mo, it's because of like the tone, the overall, there's more. This movie is very much, it's more than the slow-mo that makes this as a SnyderVerse movie. The cinematography, the color grading, the action sequences, the honestly, brutality of war, because Wonder Woman 1984 is clearly not that.
And then the other thing is, look at what happened when Zack Snyder wasn't involved.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins had full control. We got 84. Like, I'm sorry, but like, there is such a huge decline between Wonder Woman and 84. It's not just that Patty had no direction. It's that she didn't have Zack Snyder's influence. He didn't have that whole system. Zack Snyder helped co-write the script. Wonder Woman 84 was Patty Jenkins' chance to show, hey, I don't need Zack Snyder, and all she proved is that she needs Zack Snyder.
All right, and that's what I always tell people. So obviously you guys want the Snyderverse, because guess what? You loved Wonder Woman 1 and hated Wonder Woman 2, and there's only one difference between the two movies that led to that drop in quality.
One person,
yes. Sometimes the directors have one good film, one bad film. Yes, that's true. But the reason why I'm not saying Patty Jenkins is a bad director. I'm saying that there's that the only difference really between Wonder Woman 1984 and Wonder Woman 2017 that would explain this shift is the exclusion of anything related to Zack Snyder.
Well, first off, I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer. And secondly, if you want to say that both films were a Patty Jenkins piece, like you want to say both of them, like why are they so different? Not just in look, tone, feel. Why? Like it's almost like it's it feels like it's two different directors, but it has the same director. If both films are Patty Jenkins' vision, why are they so wildly different? And why is the one that everyone loves have Zack Snyder influence, and the one that everyone hates is Patty Jenkins?
Yeah, and he said no. It was she changed screenwriters. That's the difference. Yeah, but the screenplay, if you look at the credit for it, guess who's on the credit?
That just proves that Zack Snyder was a net positive for Wonder Woman, because having him not work on the script from 1984 obviously was to its detriment. Congratulations, you just proved our point.
Yeah, thank you.
And not only that, Charles Roven was a big influence on Wonder Woman first film.
And then Snyder's talent to cinema is his ability to use slow-mo for dramatic effect. He can go overboard, yes.
Yeah,
but the point.
Fair enough.
Cole goes, Jenkins did a film before Wonder Woman that's honestly better than anything Snyder's ever done, in my opinion. No, if you listen to the making of it and the BTS, then Snyder did not have much impact on Wonder Woman. Yes, I agree with hot takes. The screenwriter change was a huge reason for it. Yeah, but actually, because here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing, Cole. Here's how I counter that. Because yes, okay, of course the special features are going to differ and say, okay, it wasn't Zack Snyder. But here's the thing, though. Because the first movie, actually, you know what? Why don't you guys take this one?
Also, here's the thing: Zack Snyder was also producer on Wonder Woman, so which means he also had a direct influence on the day-to-day.
Yeah,
so
and plus,
sorry, go on. Producers. I mean, the popular consumption is producers are just money people, like they're like the lazy M studio. Yes, and also no. Producers are also they're heavily on set, and because like you got to remember. Steven Spielberg produced the first Transformers movie. And coincidentally, that's like the best Transformers movie. That's like the only Transformers movie that's actually kind of good. You know, I would say it's probably because Steven Spielberg had a hand in it. Christopher Nolan was a producer on Man of Steel. That's why Man of Steel has like a kind of a slight... Because here's the difference. Is Zack, like, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, they do feel slightly different, but not too far off from each other. The biggest difference is Christopher Nolan didn't have as much of a hand in BVS as he did Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, it's kind of a similar situation almost as well, you know, but like there wasn't as much of a drop. Like, you know, some might say Man of Steel is better than BVS, like, you know, or whatever, but like the drop off is not as drastic. And
no, it's not.
And the thing is, if you watch Man of Steel and BVS, they look and feel somewhat differently, but you can tell they're the same vision. They come from the same source. It's like Pepsi and Mountain Dew. It's like, okay, these are different drinks, but they're from the same producer.
If you look into the Wonder Woman production, his impact was not much day to day. Producers mainly just give some small tips and make sure it connects to a universe. Yeah.
And look at what happened when he wasn't producing.
That's what we're saying. Look what happens when he wasn't associated with it.
That's the whole crux of the argument.
And by the way, and yes, it's less of a Zack Snyder movie, Man of Steel, because guess what? Zack Snyder did not write it did not have any impact into the story. It did not have any influence really into the story of Man of Steel.
Exactly.
No, they already had the script. David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan, all those guys had the script before they brought him in.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Terrio.
Yeah, and Chris Terrio. Yeah, they had already written it. That's the point. And then,
yet the thing is, even with Zack Snyder only really being the director of Man of Steel and BVS still have a lot of connective tissue to it. Whereas Wonder Woman, not so much. Like there's such a huge difference in like tone and feel and just everything that it almost feels like an entirely new team made 84 as opposed to Wonder Woman. And that's what we're getting at, is Zack Snyder had a hand in Wonder Woman. That is not up for debate. He did not have a hand in 84. That is also not up for debate.
Yeah, what we're saying here, Cole, is that, yes, you can make the argument that Wonder Woman was 90% Patty Jenkins. Yeah, fine. But that 10%...
It's that 10% that mattered.
Yeah, that 10% clearly had an influence.
So
I mean, look at how much of Wonder Woman fell apart when it was 100% Patty Jenkins.
Mm-hmm. So let's bring it back to the discussion anyway, and let's talk about the ending, because the ending fight, I think it's a really good topic of discussion, because we're getting to that ending now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's certainly one of the better like CG versus CG fights.
Yes,
the CG green screen. Like, I mean, it does.
It was one of the better ones. Yeah.
Like I don't like that a lot of modern superhero movies. It's like we'll put everyone in a green screen and we'll just CG stuff, and it's all very samey. But like this one is a little bit cut above the rest. If it were me, I would not have had this fight. I would not have had the Ares reveal. I would have had Ludendorff be Ares and just kind of have, you know, some stuff happens afterwards. But like, for it being in the movie, it's not terrible.
Oh, and by the way, Cole, I'm going to dispute this one point. Nothing changed without Snyder. Did you watch 1984 and compare it to Wonder Woman 1? Something clearly changed. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. And yes, the other thing of like her changing screenwriters, all that stuff had an influence. but it was also had to do with the fact that they were no longer tying in or like in any way influence. Let's say in any way. You can say that Snyder had a minimal influence. In any way, the fact that Snyder was not in any way associated with that movie, that's significant. Just saying that.
Well,
I do not blame Jenkins at all. No.
And here's the thing. Saying that the studio gave her no guidance, honestly, that's just a mark against Patty Jenkins herself. Because a good director, like for example, a good director like Zack Snyder, doesn't need studio guidance to make a good movie. They're such a visionary filmmaker. They're such a good filmmaker. You got to realize, Zack Snyder was even before he did Man of Steel, he already had a bunch of films under his belt. Let's see here.
Watchmen.
He did
Watchmen.
The Dead, which is actually considered a really good remake of that movie. Watchmen, Sucker Punch. He actually had a pretty decent run of movies, so he actually had a lot of experience under his belt. Patty Jenkins, even now, hasn't really done much.
So hold on. I want to bring this up, right? Cole is saying many things you can bring up besides Snyder. That's all. We have no answer. There's no point to bring it up as a reason.
All we're bringing up is that this could be a reason why.
Yeah. And another thing too, Cole.
We're battling two extremes. Like, one people are saying, I feel like myself, I'm saying Zack Snyder is the reason this movie is successful. But on the other hand, I feel like some people in the chat, not going to name any names, are saying Zack Snyder had nothing to do with this movie. It's kind of a battle of two extremes. Yeah. I feel like if we want to have a consensus, let's just go in the middle and say Zack Snyder was involved. It probably helped a little bit, and without it, the absence of Zack Snyder, we can't really say for certain.
Plus, you got to take this into you got to take this into account. Zack Snyder is the one who brought Wonder Woman into the fold in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no question. There's no argue about that. You can't say, because the reason why such a Zack Snyder is the one person who brought Wonder Woman and Batman to the fold of the DCEU. So there's no question I'm saying that. But anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna go away from that discussion now. I'm just so we can continue on with the discussion. And yes, we do need a Man of Steel 2. But I appreciate that. In fact, you have earned this.
Yes, my man.
And hot takes. Where have I said she's a trash director? I never said that.
Okay, I think he's saying that I which I did kind of. I wouldn't really go. I feel like it's kind of he's kind of extrapolating that, but I can see where he would think that. So he's more talking about me than he is about you.
Okay, but as far as I know, no, we never said she was a trash director. We just and every director has bad movies. We're totally aligned with that. We're just trying to find a reason. We're ultimately, we don't know what happened with 1984. We're just giving, it could be this. It could be this. And that's all we're saying. Okay.
For all we know, the fact that Zack Snyder is in the movie could have made it better. For all we know, could have made 1984 better. 1984 could have been worse if Zack Snyder got involved. And that's one thing I will fully concede. We're kind of saying, because Zack Snyder wasn't in there, that's because it's bad. That's speculation at best. That is to be perfectly fair, that is speculation at best. And sure, I can speculate it, but there's no proof, there's no indication, there's nothing to say one way or the other. And so I'm just going to say either of us could be right, and either of us could be wrong.
Nice one, Cole. I love that. That's probably I'm sure that contributed to it, dude.
Too much cocaine or not enough? That's the question.
So going back to the movie, I agree with you guys that it wasn't a horrible fight. 100%. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite last fights in a superhero movie. Honestly, the way actually it works is that my favorite last fight is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Last hour of it is fantastic. Then you get to Man of Steel with Superman v Zod. And then honestly, it gets to Wonder Woman. Actually, no, BVS, then Wonder Woman, because the Trinity fighting Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't throw that in. So anyway, Now, so it wasn't a horrible fight, and I understood why they put it in per se. But here's the thing, though. Here's the problem with it. Let's go off of the assumption that it was Ares influencing people, because that's basically what the whole movie is saying, right? The problem is, okay, so she kills Ares, and then the Germans and the Americans are all hugging. But we know World War II happened. So did Ares come back to life?
Yes.
I think honestly,
not just that, but like Korea happened, Vietnam happened.
Yeah, honestly,
these are just the American-centric wars. Like you got the Sino-Chinese War, you got honestly, you could say shit got worse because like the World War II, you only had the Holocaust, you had the American interning the Japanese, you had all the experiments the Japanese were running on people. It's like there's a lot this is honorable. Like all this is like there's a reason why World War I is like considered the last honorable war.
Yeah, and what's actually interesting is that the way I see it, I think it was like a little bit of both. In other words, yes, it was mankind is naturally like kind of corrupt, but I also like the idea. I also agree that there was a little bit of Ares. In other words, I'm a little bit in the middle there in terms of how this influence.
Going off of the movie as it is and not how I want it to be, I tend to agree because the whole point of Steve Trevor's speech is people are complicated and that there is no simple answer. There's not one person you can point to as like the cause of all the problems, but but also Ares was whispering into these people's ear, but he also said, I didn't make anybody do any of this. Like all I did was give them the formula. They're the ones who created it, which it's kind of a cop-out, but at the same time, he's kind of right as well. And I feel like that's kind of like the message that kind of got jumbled a little bit in this movie, where it's like people are complicated, war never changes.
Yeah, exactly. And but I'm gonna say one more thing on the one discussion. Hot Takes has a point here. It's also that Patty Jenkins herself wrote the movie, so I'll give you that. So moving on. So and then it ends. The battle. Well, actually, the battle actually ends really coolly, where like Ares is throwing lightnings and she's just absorbing it because who's her father?
She's a god.
Literally.
No, not only that. Who's her father?
Zeus.
Mr. So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, I know. She literally starts blasting and she goes, "Goodbye, brother." And then she just destroys him. Well, as far as we know, destroys him. And you get the whole, like, going through the whole, you get the whole, what's the word? The whole, oh my gosh, we won the war, the celebration in Europe. And, big point we missed. Steve Trevor dies. So, and that's sort of dies. Yeah. Unfortunately, with 1984, we have to put the air quotes in. And then I love where he dies, and then Wonder Woman has that moment where like she loses control and like starts killing people, and then she like stops herself and like goes, "No, it's not about this. It's about love." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I appreciate that. That's great. I love that." So going back, so then we have the okay. Go ahead, Nick. Actually,
are you saying that all you need is love?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Master Sergeant's right. A supermodel could easily deflect bullets. And Cole, we're operating in a world where we have a dude that gets his powers from the sun. I think we've thrown around all concept of this isn't realistic a long time ago. Okay.
Also, the supermodel is literally a god, so it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, that's true. And by the way, Hot Takes makes a good point. He says, "I will never understand the hate the Ares battle gets at the end. I think." The most part, third act, the whole third act needs work. Yeah, but the problem is, dude, is that the Ares fight really is not the issue. It's
it's unnecessary. That's my point.
Well, yes, too. Oh, and by the way, our celebrities in the chat, our good friend Snyder Queen is in the chat, so I'm just gonna highlight her comment. And Snyder Queen, I'm just playing some Diablo. That's some quality fun.
1, 4, 3.
And by the way. bow down before you. And we have a very special clip for you, Snyder Queen. I always make sure to have a new Wonder Woman clip for you, so here you go. Yep, so the way this is going to work, and Snyder Queen says, 3. Oh, and by the way, a super model deflecting bullets. Gal Gadot is a supermodel.
She's also a former Israeli soldier, so that too.
Yeah, and of course I had to pick No Man's Land. It's the best part of the movie. Wait till you see what I use for your intro when we get to Zack Snyder's Justice League, which, by the way, I just want to plug this again, is next week. Just putting that in there. We are finally going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League next week.
Featuring DC Comics gamer.
And by the way, he's not selling DC Comics. I'm going to tell you that. No,
here's what's going to happen if anything happens. What Disney used to do with their characters is they license them out. So what might happen is DC itself stops publishing comics. So what they do is they license it to like IDW, Image, Dark Horse, and then they produce the comics. Kind of like how you saw Marvel, you had Disney characters being done by Dark Horse or Image or Marvel back in the day. And that is the worst that will happen. They're not going to sell off the comics end of it. At worst, they'll just license out the comics creation portion, and it'll just shutter DC Comics itself. DC Comics will cease to exist, but like it'll just you see Batman as an Image character. I mean, come on.
Or yeah, he definitely fits an Image. Or what they'll do is they'll just stop publishing new comics and just publish like reprints and trades and stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, Hot Takes makes a good point. Okay, so let me address this one. My problem with the last battle is not like she fights no one and stops war. My problem with it is that, okay, so she kills Ares, she defeats Ares, and then all of a sudden everyone's fine and like hugs. That's fine, except for the fact that I know historically World War II still happened. So really, that movie's whole ending, because that movie makes you think that there's going to be no more war, which, guess what? That's kind of undermined by the fact that not only actual events, but you also have like the Doomsday fight. You have Lex Luthor pitting Superman and Batman against each other. So there's plenty of things that undermine that particular part of the film. So
9/11 still happens.
Yeah, 9/11 still happens. So my issue with it, Nerdman, is not the actual fight. It's the aftermath of the fight.
Okay.
Because what they could have done is had her fight Ares and then just find out that it really wasn't him, and then the people just start like killing each other. And by the way, an Israeli soldier conscripted to do admin work. Come on, guys, to keep it in a fantasy world. She shouldn't have fought Ares at the end. She should have realized that man is flawed. Because that's kind of what the movie was pointing to, though.
Yeah, and it's like that's why I keep pointing to that Steve Trevor speech, which I said earlier. That Steve Trevor speech, in my opinion, is in like the top 5, maybe even the top 3 movie speeches of all time. Like of all time. Like it's that good in my opinion. Yeah, and I love and just Chris Pine delivers it with such emotion.
So
yeah, like if you think and I feel like it's a message that we need to hear. It's like, do you think I could just point you at someone and say that's the problem? People are complicated. I just really love the message of that speech.
Oh, and by the way, Nerd Queen, since you said that, Snyder Queen says that was Patty's original ending, but Ares, but Warner Brothers forced the Ares fight. I'm going to give you this. Wait, I'm going to give you this.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Okay, that's the way that's going to go. But yeah,
honestly, considering the movie and how that ending scene kind of feels a little bit out of place, that honestly feels about right.
Jared's got the idea right there. You're right there, brother. And we talked about that early in the stream.
Jared, you know what you need to do? You need to get like Mjolnir and like spray paint band hammer on it. And I got my band hammer right here.
That's a terrific idea. I might actually do that. And yes, that's a fantastic idea. If anyone talks about Justice League, I will throw things. We're talking about the good version of Justice League.
We're talking the best version of Justice
League. Actually, hang on. From now, here's the thing. If anyone talks about Justice League, I'll just ignore it, because guess what? It doesn't exist. There's only one version of Justice League that came out, and guess what? It came out last year on HBO Max.
There's only one Justice League, ma'am, and I'm sure he doesn't dress like that.
Not necessarily hot takes. That, again, is speculation. I highly doubt it would have done as poorly as that. And then
like the film would have still gone on. Like the whole Trevor, like doing the sacrifice, I mean, that still would have happened. That like they wouldn't have ended right there. It would have gone on for another 5 or 10 minutes, and because like I feel like killing Ares outright was like the wrong thing. It's like just
and actually, Nerdman has a really good take. They should have developed Dr. Poison and Ares more. I agree with that.
Yeah, because him being revealed as Ares does kind of come out of left field a little bit. Like, to be fair, if you watch the movie with the twist in mind, they do kind of put in a few things. But honestly, there's no build up to it. There is no build up to it. Like,
yeah,
Dr. Really Poison being Ares makes more sense than that.
Dude, that would have been actually. I know you just pull it out of your ass, but that would have actually been cool. Honestly, I think.
Like just her being her.
No,
like her, like,
here's how they do it.
Ludendorff,
I had an idea. This just popped in my head. This may be a really stupid idea, but just bear with me, okay? It's no stupid than Nick trying to have Grant Gustin replace Ezra Miller. But okay, what if Steve Trevor was actually Ares the whole time?
Okay, now I'm rioting. Now we riot.
No, but I'm just saying, because that way he knows she's the God Killer, so he wants to get close to her, and then he keeps like.
Okay, how much cocaine? How many lines have you done to come up with that stupid ass idea?
Hey, it's no more serious. Wait a second.
I got a serious question. How much drink have you had today? How many caffeine?
I just had water.
Nah, I don't believe you.
Okay.
And
okay, so that was just that was just a little idea I had that would have been an interesting villain reveal, but just the fact that it's just the random British dude that they hang out with is like, okay.
I recognize you have an idea, but given that it's a stupid ass idea, I've chosen to ignore it.
Wait, would they sneak in Grant Gustin? No, they wouldn't, because he's from a failed TV show. He is very much from a failed TV show. And Nick, this is for you.
So, anyway, do we want to bring people on now for the last 5 minutes?
wait, hang on. Hot takes has to come. Let's make Lois Lane Brainiac. Hey, I'm not that crazy.
Don't give them any ideas, brah. Don't Warner Brothers is watching this right this moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Warner Brothers.
Hey, Warner Brother. Hey, new regime, please restore the Snyderverse. Okay, so the way this is going to work, now what we're going to do is, okay, so now we're going to, because throughout all the streams, I've had people come on saying, hey, can I come on the panel and talk about it? So what we're going to do is I'm going to put my Twitter in the chat, and the first 3 people that come on are going to be allowed to come on the panel for 5 minutes each to give their thoughts on Wonder Woman. 5 minutes, and the only rule is, okay, and Nick will time it. And the only rule is, please keep it PG. So I'm gonna put my Twitter in the chat, and then we will get started on that. In the meantime,
all right, so when the person comes on, I'm basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna say your time starts now. Press a button, and when the alarm goes off, the time is up, and they have to leave.
Yeah. Well, when the timer goes off, complete your thought, and then you can go.
But don't extend it another 5 minutes.
Yeah, because we're watching you. All right.
And I'll be. By the way, Jared, I'll be on mute just to let you know.
Okay.
I'll be muting myself. Well, I won't be.
No, because I want them to have their say. Because I want them to have their say, and they can have their 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do? I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just here on timer duty. So
yeah. So in other words, send me a DM on Twitter if you guys want to come on, and I'll send you a link.
Is it a link
While
to
we
the
wait,
past?
While we wait, I actually know Nerdman will. All right. If Cole wants to come on, I'll give him a thing for 5 minutes.
All right.
There you go. Remember, keep it PG.
Yep. So basically, they'll say their stuff. I mean, Jared can say their stuff. Teladia will be mute. I'll be shutting the F up, and I'm just on timer duty. So.
Finally, I'm like kidding, brother. And so the way I'm going to work is that I'll send the links concurrently. It's just the first 3 people are going to be able to do it. All right. So Cole.
Oh, also, when I do this, that's the 2-minute warning.
Okay. So it's going to be Cole and then PK and then Jared Heath for this week. And what's up, Cole? How you doing?
All right. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Go ahead.
To talk film.
Yeah, on the movie.
Yeah, okay. So my thoughts on the film, honestly, a lot of people are hyping up when it first released. I just thought it was pretty mid, and I still kind of think that now. I mean, the main thing that I really love about the film is even though I don't think Gal Gadot is a good actor, I mean, you mentioned how she's actually a supermodel. Yeah, that explains a lot. I thought her chemistry with Chris Pine was actually fucking amazing. Oh, oops, sorry, PG.
It's all good. It's all good.
Freaking
allow a mistake.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that really carried the film. And then there were some action scenes I didn't like again, like that scene on the battlefield. Like all I ask is to just run at least like a bit more realistic, but there were other action scenes I really loved and some gritty visuals that were pretty good. My main issues though is first off, there wasn't really much of a main story. Honestly, it kind of just like carried along. There wasn't like a main arc or whatever that kept people focused outside of beat in like area, whatever at the end. So that was a huge complaint there for me. There were definitely some editing issues I saw that I wasn't a fan of. I was not a huge fan of how they handled the villain. And again, I really don't think Gal Gadot that's great of an actress, really. I just thought it was kind of mid overall. Like, I didn't hate it. Didn't love it, but pretty all right. Definitely better than some of the other DCEU films I've seen.
Let me ask you this, Cole. What's better, this or Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel is a special breed. That's a masterpiece. Definitely 10 out of 10.
Where's my band hammer?
All right, get him off. Get him off. Out of here. I can
that's about it.
Calling Wonder Woman mid, but saying Captain Marvel is the best movie ever, that I cannot tolerate.
Yeah.
Crap on Wonder Woman all you want, but like to say Captain Marvel is good, I cannot tolerate that.
Yeah, and also that fucking like I get goddamn
It's all good.
So But that like ending shot of her just like jumping. God, that was like cringe. But anyway, that's about all I have to say though. So I'll just leave and let somebody else talk. But always remember that
you still got 2.5 minutes left. So
that's fine. I'll give somebody else that time. But remember, Nerdman always spits the facts. Goodbye.
Yeah. I disagree, but okay. There have been plenty of times when Nerdman's been wrong.
I disagree with him. But I really respect how he said his thing. He dropped the mic, then he pieced out. I gotta respect that.
Yeah, and Nerdman makes a good point. She was fighting like a woman. That's the point. Next, we have PK. So I'll send PK the link, and then he can hop on for 5 minutes.
Is PK getting 7 minutes since he gave the time over?
I guess so. Yeah, we can do that.
All right, I just do what you tell me to do. So,
and so the way it's gonna work is that so. When Nick indicates that time is up, what's going to happen is that just wrap up your thought. Any other points that you want to make, you can put. You're more than welcome to put in the chat.
As an addendum, what I suggest is that when I give the 2-minute warning, that's your indication to start wrapping up your point.
Yeah. When
I give the 2-minute warning, I think that is fair for everyone. So that way people don't go on. You got 2 minutes to wrap up your point, and then So yeah. That's what Nick, I want to do.
Nick, it's that way, not that way. It's that way, okay?
Yeah, Nick, get it right. He's giving you the knuckle. And I sent it to PK, just waiting for him to hop on.
And PK is going to get 7 minutes because the previous person graciously donated their time.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. So, I mean, I disagree that she's like. I mean, there were some parts of Wonder Woman that I think Gal Gadot communicated really well. I will say that.
I mean, I definitely respect him I definitely respect his opinion. I don't agree with it, but I can kind of see where he's coming from, and I respect him for sharing his opinion. And so.
All right. So, how long do you guys want to wait for PK?
I say we waited long enough. Go to the next person. If PK shows
right.
up, he can go after that.
Yeah, and then okay. So Jared Heath, if you want to come on, I'm sending you the link. Let me just let me actually recopy the invite link. And I think she was actually good in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's.
And I did like her in BVS. I think for what little she did in BVS, I think she was good.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not connecting for some reason. Okay, then if you're having communication issues, we'll just move on.
All right. There's always next time.
There's always 100%. You are more than welcome. And by the way, Master Sergeant, what we're doing is the way it's going to work for the audience participation is that if you want to come on the panel, DM me on Twitter. My Twitter's in the chat, and then I'll send you a link, and then you have you can come on for like 5 minutes and discuss your thoughts on Wonder Woman. We'll do the same thing for Zack Snyder's Justice League.
So
and yes, we finally agree with Nerdman on something.
Yes, peace has been obtained at last.
Yes, we can all come together as one.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Okay, he said now it works. I can get he'll be the last one. All right. Yeah, Jared, I'm sending you the link right now. All right, and here you go, Jared. It is all sent in.
All right. And then once they're actually on the show, I'll tell them when their time starts, and then they can begin cursing me out.
Oh, we all do that.
I mean, I'm used to being the punching bag, so it's all good.
It's all good, dude. It's all good.
Teladia, that hurts.
Oh, actually, hey, Nick, if you're the punching bag, then technically I could just do this.
Boy, you sure did find a new way to stick it to me.
And here's Jared He. What's up, brother?
What's good, man? How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Hey,
and your
Jared,
time starts?
So you're getting 7 minutes, and it starts now. You're on the clock. Go.
Okay, well, first of all, I think Captain Marvel sucked all across the board.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, he's awesome. He's good.
All right, and second, I'm happy to be here. Thanks all y'all for inviting me. But seriously, next week I'll try to be here next week. But if anyone brings up Justice League, someone make that band hammer. I'm serious.
Oh yeah, it's happening, dude. It's happening. I'll have the band trident.
No, don't desecrate that thing. That's a beautiful piece of work.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I'll give you that.
Can't argue with that. But seriously, what's the worst out of these three? Captain Marvel, Batman and Robin, or I want to say Justice League, but I'm gonna go easy on y'all. Batman versus Robin, or what's the third option?
1984?
No, close. Birds of Prey.
Oh, dude. Oh, that is a tough one because all three of those are horrendous.
I'm gonna go with Birds of Prey because at least I don't like Captain Marvel. Like,
okay, Cole is pissing me off right now.
Someone get the band hammer.
Oh, jeez. All right. But anyway, I honestly have to say Birds of Prey because I walked out of that movie really pissed off. If you're a fan of Stephanie Brown, you know why they severely dropped the ball with that one.
Right?
No. Wait, I'm like, no. You do not get points for that.
Don't do any spoilers, bro. No spoilers.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I thought y'all were
gonna. No. You said Stephanie Brown, so I'm asking for no spoilers.
Oh wait. No, it was Cassandra Cain is the one they butchered.
We said no spoilers, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you got the joke. Stephanie Brown, spoiler.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. All right. So your thoughts on Wonder Woman, brother?
well, I just thought Wonder Woman was refreshing for when it came out because you had the whole Batman. I only counting the Ultimate Edition, the whole Batman v Superman fiasco. And really, all the Marvel fanboys just crying when Wonder Woman blew them out of the park. It brought a huge smile on my face.
Yes.
Marvel tears are plentiful and in great supply.
They're almost as good as anti-Snyder tears.
Whoa. Come on, man. We already got one debate on this stream.
Yeah,
Anti
true.
tears are a delicacy. I love mining them.
Hey, how much time do I have left?
You got 4:23, brother.
Okay, all right. I'm going to wrap this up. Look, it was great for having me.
No, you got plenty of time, bro. You got plenty of time.
Plenty of time, dude.
Yeah, when I do this, that's your 2-minute warning. That's your cue to wrap it up. So until you see the peace sign, you're all good.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. While I'm here, I think DCEU is one of the best Lex Luthors.
Oh, that is a hot take.
Dropping. That's higher than Hot Take Tuesdays.
And hot takes have been dropping some hot ones.
Okay. All right. Lay it on me. I got time.
Oh, yeah, you got about 342, so you're good.
All right. Well, mainly, I'm gonna be real. I'm biased. I grew up with the DCAU, so and just about every other Lex Luthor I see. I mean, come on, I got to make that comparison. Come on.
There you go. There you go.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Eisenberg is definitely reminiscent of the DCAU Lex Luthor.
No.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
No. Because you got to remember, the DCAU Lex Luthor was voiced by Clancy Brown.
Thank you.
And it was a lot more serious. It was a lot seriouser than Lex Luthor.
That's like comparing the guy who voiced Deathstroke and Son of Batman. That casting was god awful.
I don't know.
Like who voiced it? I know in Young Justice. I know in like the movies like Teen Titans versus the Justice League.
No, I'm not.
Because they got Miguel Ferrer to voice Deathstroke in those.
Wait, the guy from Criminal Minds?
Yeah, he was really good. He's since passed on. He's a really good actor.
Oh, my condolences.
Yeah, I think in Young Justice he voiced Vandal Savage.
Oh, okay.
He had that perfect voice. He had like that perfect villain voice.
I think I know what you're talking about. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I probably only got like a minute left anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and donate that. It was good talking to y'all, Captain Marvel, and see y'all next week.
Yeah, exactly. See you all next week.
He just donated 2 minutes. So
all right, so PK, when you come on, you will have
7 minutes.
7 minutes. So I dropped the link in the Twitter chat. So hop in. And our queen says, I think Lex at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League is closer to the DCAU, but not BVS Lex. He's too wound up during that movie. True. I'll give you that one. It's more of the one after that. What's up, PK?
Hey.
Hey. So, PK?
Yeah, sorry. I have to get the webcam so that it's aligned. And
okay.
PK?
Because of that. So yeah, and also
wait, PK, hang on.
Okay.
So before you begin, you have 7 minutes. When I do this, that's your 2-minute warning. That's your cue to wrap it up. Your time begins now. So have fun.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the Wonder Woman movie was, I could say that it was a good team player kind of movie going along with Snyder's 5-movie plan, meaning that, because I have that scene that Snyder had planned for 5 movies circling Superman, and the Justice League were basically supposed to be supporting side characters, but they were elevated to being not just background characters. Mm-hmm. And by that logic, it was basically that Wonder Woman movie was basically supposed to be a one-off, similar to how the Aquaman movie was supposed to be one-off, Flash was supposed to be one-off, the Batman was supposed to be one-off, and Cyborg was supposed to be one-off. The other movies set up between the Justice League movies, those were gone. And Wonder Woman basically paved the way and show, and it was basically supposed to show those other movies. Do it like this, and that is it. That's where Wonder Woman was did it right. Basically, a sequel would have been unneeded. The casting wise, it was pretty good. I think Gal Gadot has her strengths and weaknesses. Those basically mostly go hand in hand with depending on who is directing her. Zack Snyder had it basically some kind of. He knew what kind of how to direct her, and they had with Chris Terrio and Dave Goyer. They wrote a kind of a dialogue for her that actually made her acting complementary, and I think that the Wonder Woman movie did it also sound well. But there were those kind of scenes that most people who have been talking about her accent. I think that those are also the kind of the flaws that Patty Jenkins' direction actually brought up.
Well, the problem with that is because Gal Gadot has an Israeli accent, suddenly all the Amazons have an Israeli accent to match her. That's
true.
kind of
That's true. Yeah, it is. But there was also the fact that the way how Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio managed to write her in going forward, they managed to give her the right kind of dialogue where her accent didn't stand out and needed other actors to mimic her accent in that kind of way. And also, it pretty much goes without saying that the chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, that worked. That worked hand in hand. Mostly the movie was basically, it was one of the factors that carried it along with the action and story beats that was going on. Those were.
It's the same reason why Amazing Spider-Man is half as good as it is because of the chemistry between
Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Yeah,
that carried those two movies.
Yeah, those are basically some of the pillars, our linchpins that are holding it together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I usually work better with scripts. Improvising is so hard.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you got about 3 minutes 35 seconds.
Okay. The story was setting in World War One. That was we already went through it over the stream already, and also when going through the movies, I actually also already wrote on the chat that the fact that how Diana told Bruce at the end of BVS that she walked away from humanity for 100 years, that's basically something that can be interpreted multiple different ways. That like I wrote in the chat, it's basically to say that she didn't actually walk away, but that she did not armor up or suit up as Wonder Woman for those 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not able to go back to Themyscira, that she can't walk away from humanity because she was stuck and still is stuck with the humanity, meaning that she was mostly just to stay on there and without purpose, without friends, and everyone all those friends that she had ended up dying as she outlived them. So she didn't actually walk away. She was just passively staying on, and she didn't actually as I also said, she wouldn't have actually needed to be in Wonder Woman get up to doing anything. It was basically, if she sees some situation that she could interfere with, she does that quickly and inconspicuously, like in her civilian clothes, just do something and then go back to hiding in plain sight like as anyone else.
See, the problem with her stepping away from humanity is World War II. You really think Diana would just let Hitler do all the stuff he was doing in Germany? You really think Diana?
That's the problem. In-story DC Universe. DC Universe has that in-story kind of explanation that prevented the superpowered people from interfering with World War II with the Spear of Destiny, or Sword of Longing, depending on which way you call it. But that was basically because Hitler had the possession of it, that any superpowered people were unable to interfere.
Mm-hmm.
That's one version or one explanation.
Yeah, there's
a comic. It's a comic.
It's something that can be hand waved as an explanation. Then again, she probably would have tried to do what she could, but not in any kind of. How much time do I have?
Right. You have 1 minute 12 seconds. So wrap it up.
movie, a few flaws was carried by the actors chemistry. Chemistry was a team player with Snyder's plans. Wonder Woman worked pretty well. I did a double feature on reviewing both movies when 84 came out. And thanks for having me be here. Go check my channel when you have time. And again, thanks for having me here. And may your heart be your guiding key. Cut me out.
Anytime, brother.
You got about 30 seconds. So anything else you want to say?
Go check my channel also if you haven't.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, bye-bye.
And okay, so on that note, I think that's a good place to like leave it. And let me just check this. Yeah. Okay. And what we're gonna do is that. Okay. So Nick and Teladia are gonna drop their links in the chat, and then I'll drop them in the public, or you guys can just drop it in the comment section, and then to advertise where we can find all y'all. And
I've just did that. Just put in a private chat.
all right, and I'll drop that in here. Actually, yeah. So let me copy that. So here is Teladia's YouTube channel.
Guys, make sure you guys do check me out on YouTube. I'm covering Gotham Knights. I've recently done the full month coverage of IGN's first for Gotham Knights. I did the reaction to the Harley Quinn boss fight, and also on my Twitter page, I genuinely talk about DC. I'm a huge SnyderVerse fan. Also, mind if I post a podcast as well?
Sure.
Because Jared will be on the podcast, guys. Just a big heads up. Jared will be on the next episode on the Inside the Multiverse, episode 29, featuring Comics League, Jared. And it's going to be amazing. We're going to be talking about DCEU news, Gotham Knights, Gamescom. It's a crazy episode. It's a must-see episode. You do not want to miss out on that opportunity of being part of a great thing. We do have a community Discord server, which you can see in that video. You love my voice, Cole Turner?
Cool.
Thanks, man.
And so on that note, and by the way, next week we'll have some specific premieres from Phoenix Press that we're very excited for, that I got a little preview of in terms of the final product, and it's
the two of you will be getting a little bit of a private showing after we're done here.
Yeah,
Awesome.
And also next week, guys, my co-host will be on the show, which is Chris, DC Comics Gamer, will be on this show, and he will be discussing Zack Snyder Justice League. So there will be not 3, but 4 of us will be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So be tuned in for that.
Be there, be square.
So in other words, you're saying we should do this.
He's never fought us. Not us united.
There we go.
Yes.
So on that note, I'm going. And Jarrett, you know it. I'm bringing that band hammer. Anyone talks about Justice League on this one, no. You're out. See you later. And actually, if you start bringing up Justice League when I have you on the panel, that will be grounds for automatic removal, like this. I had to use you as an example, Nick.
So anyway, that being said,
I may have to break out that band hammer really well right about now, but okay. But all right. So on that note, okay. So boys, it was a pleasure having you on to host this show with me. Hope I will see you all for next week when we talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, the best superhero movie of all time. And from Jared at Comics League, stay at work, everyone. See you in the next one. And in the meantime, remember, dudes,
With great power comes great responsibility.